So, the Spitfire Mk Vb Trop. You can see here at the start of the game that I'm starting to take a bit of a dive on the LA7, and there seems to be quite a few enemies just below and a tiny bit of a furball going on. But we seem a little bit outnumbered, so I decided to dive down and try and help some of my teammates. I thought the LA7 was about to come up for me there, but he wasn't. And as I do continue my dive, I take a few shots and I do manage to get a few hits in. I notice at this moment that the propellers stop spinning, but I do take him out and get the rank, doesn't matter. At the time of this recording, the plane is at 3.7, so you can see that I'm in a full up tier here, 4.7 game, and I'm not too sure how that LA7's propeller stopped spinning. If I'm honest with you, I didn't really see anyone get a shot off on him, or if it was even a visual glitch at all, so sorry if I did steal someone's kill there. But I picked my next target, which is this fucker Wolf on 90, and he tries to turn in towards me as I'm diving, but I managed to get the lead and I take off his wingtip. He does go into a flat spin and into the ground for kill number 2. Start flying towards the little furball that's going on, and HE219, I don't really expect him to be able to pull up for me here, but to my surprise he actually manages to. And you'll see here that he manages to get a bit of a shot on me, which gives me quite a bit of damage, but nothing too severe. And just as I do manage to get him at the top of his loop there, or rather stalling out, I manage to get a critical hit and take him out for kill number 3. As you can see here, I've got no cannon rounds left at all. You might think 120 rounds for cannons is quite low, and it is, but when you factor in to account that there are 2 cannons, it's only 60 rounds per gun, you don't really get too much ammunition. So from here on out, you'll pretty much see me start to try and pepper people to death. I'll try and pepper people to death with these 7.7mm Browning machine guns, but as you know, they don't really do too much damage. Do manage to get a crit on the 109 G2. Looks like he's going to go into the ground, and he does, which gets me a little kill assist. I notice now at this point that me and the P51, the friendly P51 there, have put ourselves in a bit of a crappy position. The BF109 is going to take a bit of a dive on me, and that thing, if I remember correctly, has a bit of a, well, decent offensive armament. It definitely packs a punch. So I'm just flying very defensive at the moment, trying to make him overshoot. And all I do to make him overshoot is just fly in a straight line, and then as he seems to pull his lead, I will pull hard inwards. And this gave me a bit of a chance to try and get this TAR 154 off the teammates back there. I managed to get a few shots off, but as you know with these machine guns, they don't really do much. And my friendly, unfortunately, he's going to go down to the BF109, which has put me in a bit of a even more sticky situation at this moment, because it becomes a 2-on-1 and I'm at a very low energy state, can't speak English, and yeah, with low energy state and the damage to airframe, it's not going to do too well. I go defensive against the TAR 154 and he manages to do a tiny bit more damage for me, to me. English, Kosha, English. But I'm going to chase him, and he's going to think that I'm chasing him, but in reality I'm not actually chasing him. I'm trying to get back to base, but by chasing him it stops him making another approach on me. And the more that he flies straight forward, the closer he's basically escorting me to base without realising. And I think at this moment there's only me left alive on the team. And I wouldn't normally show you me flying back to base, but you'll see here that I've only got 3 minutes of fuel left and 147 MG rounds. So I'm not going to get very far, especially with the amount of enemies that are left remaining. And there is only me on our team. The TAR 154 is going to start turning around, trying to get another pass. I have no choice but to try and take the head on here with only machine guns. I just get a hit and pull up over his guns and continue to fly towards my base. And I know this part of the video may be a tiny bit boring here, as you're going to watch me basically run away from a Type 154. And I know I normally wouldn't show this, but it does end quite well for me. 2 minutes of fuel and only 95 rounds of MGs left, so I do have to get back. And just while I am flying back to base, I do want to take time to apologise for not really uploading. I've been having well, quite a bit of issues recently with recording content anyway, mainly due to the fact that my PC that I play on, it is a gaming PC, but it's now probably more than 8 years old. So as you can imagine, it overheats very quickly and everything's quite laggy. So when I am trying to record, it can sometimes make the game quite laggy, but also can really make my voice out of sync with the actual gameplay. So if this gets uploaded on this attempt, you'll know that that hasn't actually happened, or maybe I've just had to do some minor editing, but we'll find out. You can see here the Type 154 goes for a shot, and I was pulling into the ground to try and make him overshoot and crash, which he does, and because I managed to get a few shots off on him, he does go down for kill number 4. So we are back in the sky. As you can see, we've got the BF-109 coming in for a bit of a head-on. So all I do is point my nose downwards, try and get a bit of airspeed, and just as he is pulling in towards us, I do pull in towards him to make him overshoot, and carry on my turn round in the merge, try and get on his tail. Now, this engagement, I'm not going to really bore you too much of it, but I will let you know that he does end up getting away, unfortunately. And you can see that the tickets are running low, and there is only me left on the team, so I kind of need to try and take as many people out as quick as I can. And unfortunately, with him running away, he is in the faster plane, so I'm not going to catch up with him. I thought I would at this moment in time, purely based on the fact that I damaged him and made him smoke a bit, but just whilst we do try and chase him down, just to let you know what happened in that other engagement there, if you're wondering how the Type 154 went down just before we landed. My main aim there was just to dip my nose down and get as close to the ground and make him overshoot, and make him put his plane in a position where he would go into the ground, which is basically what happened. And of course I got the kill due to the damage that I put in before he did crash into the ground. Now you can see me spraying my machine guns here quite aggressively, and it's really unfortunate that this game does end up ending on tickets. And you can see now that we've got a B-25 that's coming in towards us as well. Now bear in mind that that thing does have guns on the front of the aircraft, so I do need to be a bit cautious with going head on, because it has quite a few 50 cals, which will make short work of my plane if I did go head on with him, especially with the damage model of the bombers. He wouldn't go down as easy as I would. But I don't really have much of a choice but to take it, so just as I've gained a tiny bit of altitude, I'm going to turn around and start to fly back towards him, and I'm going to keep an eye on that 109. I think he's going to land, but I wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to come in for me whilst I was tangling with the B-25. Pull underneath the B-25, he won't be able to pull in to get a shot here, and I'll probably do the worst thing that you can do when going against a bomber, and that's sit on his tail. This was my only hope to try and get him out of the game quickly, but I realised that he's quite active on his gunners, which means that I'm not really going to be able to make quick work of this guy. So he's trying to get some speed to pull away and keep the distance, so he gets longer time to try and shoot me down, essentially, whilst I will get to the tree level and try and just manoeuvre around and try and close the gap a little bit whilst making him miss his shots. I've noticed when he's manoeuvring the plane that he's not shooting at the same time. This gives me a bit of chance to close the gap and try and get behind him and try and shoot him whilst he's not active in gun of view, essentially. But he does manage to clip my wingtip there. I'm just trying to stay as low as possible. And at this moment, I believe I find it's the right time to try and shoot. I am using my cannons at the same time, and I do manage to get a hit, which knocks one of his gunners unconscious. But it's not enough to actually do anything to stop them shooting, because he's still got plenty more gunners left. You see the aircraft destroyed there, and I thought that was a B-25. It wasn't. I just got a few rounds off on an AI plane before. Managed to shoot off the left half of the tail of the B-25 and set him on fire, and he nearly hits me with the bombs there. But that B-25 will go down, and I have literally rinsed all of my ammunition into one bomber. So that is the ace, and I'm quite lucky really that I managed to set him on fire. Otherwise I would have put all my ammo in there and got nothing. But yeah, that is all, unfortunately, for this game. We do lose due to ticket bleed. Could have been a nice high kill game had the tickets not have run out and some of the enemy not crashed, but it is what it is. And that's all from me. Please do like, comment and subscribe. Over and out.